Hi, everybody. Wishing all of you a very good evening. Thank you for joining us on a Wednesday evening. I really appreciate the fact that you took out time of your busy schedule, of your student life, of your academic life, of your career, of your jobs, and you gave us time. And you're here at the webinar. I'm Praneeth. I'm the Associate Director of upGrad Abroad. What essentially I'm going to do is I'm going to moderate the space where we talk about how do you make the perfect course choice for your MS? Do you go with the field of analytics, or do you go with the field of machine learning or AI? While both of them are extremely dynamic, while both of them are extremely filling a lot of talent gap, a lot of business outcome gap, a lot of gap in terms of technology and how fast can we turn around the business outcomes. It's a difficult choice to make at the end of the day. And, as a student, I think I would always want to look towards someone who's made the choice already, right? A student who's been on the other side of things and now knows what kind of career progressions are going to be my way, what kind of jobs are going to land up my way, what kind of opportunities would end up on my way, and how do I essentially uh, build a career in that field, and which kind of industries have an appetite for AI or analytics or business intelligence or tools like SQL, Python, W, Power BI. So we've got with ourselves two extremely intellectual students who've made that decision with upGrad. One of them is studying in Clark University in the United States, which is one of the top 100 universities in the US. The other one is on her way to Yeshiva, which is the number 67 university in the US, one of the top 200 universities on QS, who's doing an MS AI course. So welcome, Sai and Deepa. It's an honor for upGrad Abroad to be hosting you on this webinar. I'd let you start your videos and say a quick hello. I'll introduce again. So we've got Deepa, who's all set for MS Artificial Intelligence at Yeshiva University in New York City. And we've got Sai, who's completed his Indian coursework with upGrad and is now at Clark University doing his MS data and analytics. I'd let both of them say a quick hello to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deepa Paikar. And as Praneeth has already talked about me, I am currently studying with upGrad in the first few months. And in almost 1 month, I'll be done with the first part of my work. And I'll be starting my studies in US, in New York, in Yeshiva University. That is for MS and AI. Praneeth, you're speaking on mute, I think.
So I'm so sorry. Thanks, Deepa. I just wanted Sai to introduce himself also.
Hey, hi guys. Welcome to the webinar. So yeah, thank you for joining us today actually. So myself Sai and I'm from Hyderabad in India. And I have done my undergrad from SR University, Chennai and in electronics and communication engineering and passed out in 2018. And after that, I have worked as a business analyst as an intern in ZS Associates company, where I eventually converted to FT full-time employee as well in the as a data analyst in ZS Associates, where I have worked on multiple skills like Python, MySQL, and PySpark, and all those activities. Like my day-to-day activities include the healthcare data analysis guys. And right now, I'm currently pursuing my master's in data analytics at Clark University. Yeah.
Thanks, Sai.
So
my first question would be to Deepa. So one, I would love to know about your background, but I think number two and the most important one is what led you to pick artificial intelligence? Not just the, from a standpoint that you took a plunge and you took up something extremely new and emergent, but how did you weigh in the factors of where do you see yourself in 3 years? What were the existing job roles that you're currently eyeing at? And then finally, how, what gave you the audacity to pick something that's very unconventional?
So for me, I think I've always been interested in coding. For my 11th and 12th also, I had my computer science as an extra subject. After that, I did my BTech in computer science engineering and did my graduation in 2018. So what happened is I landed a job with Verizon. Maybe some of you know it. Verizon is an MNC, which is US based company. It is a very big company there. So there I started working as a full stack developer. So while working as a full stack developer, you work and like you basically code a lot. Like day to day life is coding only. And I really loved it. So I work in the front end side. I can develop the websites. I can handle the APIs in the back end and all the things that comes in between. So after working there, I switched my job because after a period of time, if you're working in one sector in at the same role and same job position, it becomes kind of stagnant. It is like you're doing something repetitive. So you want to take one more step ahead. And so I switched my job. So again, as a full stack developer, I landed a job in Validus, which is a fintech company. So earlier it was a telecom company, and then I went from telecom to fintech, which was a very like separate things. And again, I learned very new things. So when I was working here, I think the next step from full stack development to AI for me, it is like since AI also involve a lot of coding, I would like to go in that part. I think data analytics like is a bit different. It is like more based on how you're observing the data, how you are churning the data and how you're utilizing it. AI on the other hand is like based on top of that, so you can actually develop things where which can be used by people. I think it involves a lot of coding. And so for me it was a very simple and simple decision to make, since I already liked coding and I was already a full stack developer. So I just wanted to like move ahead, get one more step ahead. So I went with the AI direction.
Other and when you made the final decision, what other courses were you looking at, Deepa?
Yeah, so I already have worked on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Java, React, Angular, all these things. I started working on Node as well as Vue. And I was very much interested in Python, but I could not get my hands on during my full stack development phase. And AI uses a lot of Python. I also actually did few capstone projects during my graduation time in my bachelor's, which was based on Python and related to AI. So those things were like very, very, attractive to me at that point of time, but I could not actually get the pathway to reach AI at that point of time. So I think at this position, I finally kind of find the road. I kind of found the road to reach AI. So I just took it very fast.
Sai, how about you? As in, what's the background that you're coming from, and how did you make the final choice, and what other courses were you keeping in perspective? And now that you've reached on campus, how do you see the next 3 years planning out? What kind of jobs are you foreseeing for yourself, Sai? And
Okay.
I just want to know that now that you've made made the choice, and now you're at the campus, how do you feel about the choice? Would if you could go back, would you make a different choice?
So after the graduation, I have explored few of the technologies like full stack development, also the testing things, all those activities. But I never found an interest in that because basically, since Deepa said that it basically consists of lot of coding from end to end. From daily, we'll be needing to code on 8 hours basis, like that. But I was more interested in data analytics. It's only because the domain knowledge. Once we enter into the industry, what happens is we need to have a curve of balance between curve of balance between the domain as well as the data industry. So that's how in general like the data analytics field is like. Most of the time I would be doing like in my previous experience as well, like I would be doing most of the data analysis activities with Python, MySQL, as well as PySpark activity, like PySpark. And like we need to extract the for me it was in healthcare industry. So since we need to it was like most of the time we would do the analysis of trials and all those. But yeah, why why I chose data analytics is because only of the domain knowledge. It's I'm not that into coding at the start, but right now I'm good at that, Python and MySQL. But apart from that, when someone chooses data analytics, it's only because of the domain interest. Whenever you're like, for me it's healthcare analytics field, but for someone it might be fintech. It's someone it's a different field. So that's how we need to choose data analytics. And if I go back and if I would go back and make a different choice, I would I would be choosing the data analytics field. I would not be choosing any other Praneeth.
Got that. So essentially what you're saying is, of course, it varies from person to
Yeah.
person. But if you're like Deepa, if you're extremely intensively invested in coding, then
Mhm.
artificial intelligence may be the right one for you. Or I mean, not maybe, but that is with a
So
field
in the artificial intelligence as well, when we choose an artificial intelligence, well, most of the time, what we need to do is like there will be the coding work will be like in different in general different perspective to the full stack development. Like we need to do the data wrangling and the pre-processing activities. Like also for suppose we need to have a good understanding of stats as well. We need to build up basically we need to if there's a continuous variable like the salary, we need to make it as a normal distribution. So basically that part also covers under AIML. So and there are many fields that come into AIML but data analytics it mostly depends on SQL, Python, Tableau, and all those. But for the AIML, it involves like NLP, computer vision, all those comes under AIML. Praneeth.
Got that. Thank you so much, both of you. At this point, I'd love to take any questions that audience may have. You may want to check with Sai and Deepa about the individual profile, background, skills that you may have, and which one is the right fit for you. Sai and Deepa, I think I'd like to come back to you. And Deepa, my question is to you. Look, so from the standpoint of someone doing an MSAI, which tools do you think are extremely inevitable and should be known prior to the student making a decision, if at all they choose AI, as in, which is some of the main domain knowledge in terms of tools that you think are indispensable, uh, and if they don't have it, then it's just not going to be worth it. Mute.
Mute.
I'm so sorry. I started speaking on mute. Yeah, I think in order to choose AI, I think two tools which are very important is one, person should be really interested in stats, like Sai already pointed out, because without it, we really can't go anywhere. If you are going to develop something related to AI, you first need to get little bit of hands-on and be as much good as possible in data analytics as well, because that has to be used at the basic level in order to build anything related to AI. And second thing is, it would be really helpful if you already have like coding background. That can be any language at all. If you know Java, JavaScript, React, anything at all where you can write algorithms, because algos are very important for CSE people. So these two things are very, very important. So if you know Python, well and good. If you know Java, well and good, because if you know how to write logics basically in any of the languages, you can change the syntax and you can go ahead. But I would really recommend people to get a little bit of hands-on on coding and the stats part before making the decision, because without these, learning everything from scratch may be a bit difficult, not impossible, but it would be recommended to get these a bit done.
Well, I think that's essentially something that any student who's entering into a DA family course, whether it's DA or DS or AI or ML, or even CS at an MS level, needs to know programming and building an algorithm. That extremely is an essential. So what you're trying to say is, as long as they know stats, as long as they know programming at a general level, and their acumen is supportive of it, they can pretty much navigate a career in academic life with a course on MS AI. One of the things that I jump in and tell everybody is that upGrad's program is a hybrid course where even as a working professional, you do 8 months of the coursework online with Triple IT Bangalore, one of India's private tech schools, one of the best, like the number one since a lot of years. And you do an advanced certificate program in data science that both Sai and Deepa have done. And that essentially helps you get 6 to 9 credits waived off in your US university and gets you an easy acceptance, gets you an easy visa. Because the point is that you've demonstrated your academic integrity, academic readiness, and that you can fit into the rigor. But I think one of the points that Deepa has mentioned is that the ACP in data science does cover Python, SQL, NoSQL, building algorithms. It has a lot of in-depth machine learning at an advanced level. It has data engineering, business analytics, business intelligence. And so my question to you, Sai and Deepa, and I go to Sai first, is that to what extent did the ACP DS actually help you in terms of fitting into the rigor of the classroom at Clark? But also, do you think that you are at an extra advantage because you know so many of those tools and you've done that rigorous coursework, and you will be picked above any other student in your classroom because you've got those foundational skills? So how did that course help you, and is that really worth it? Not in terms of money, but in terms of, does that initial skill set actually propel you forward?
So in general, Praneeth, since you guys know, like I have already worked as a data analyst on Python and MySQL, but I never knew data engineering field. I wanted to always wanted to explore that data engineering field, but I never knew. Like there are many concepts like Hadoop, Scoop, and Flume, and as well as PySpark and all those. The basic architecture which lies under that will it's a different difficult thing to learn without the exact roadmap. But that exact roadmap was a bit difficult to research on the internet. But upGrad was very helpful to me because like they have built how the modules is like what happens is like in general whatever that they teach in the video sessions by the professors in the modules in recorded pre-recorded session, those will be in those will be in the description part as well. So that helped me very well. Like if I will be going through the video, and again I will be going through the description part as well. So the roadmap was clear cut thing for me. And I have learned many tools like what we say PySpark, Hadoop architecture, and also AWS have learned how to ingest the data into S3 and all those. Like and I have to say one thing. Like AWS is a costlier thing if you have to go by ourselves, but you guys gave it for free resources, as a free resources. That was one of the biggest advantage for me when I wanted to showcase my portfolio as a data engineer projects right now, Praneeth.
Wonderful. So I just want all the attendees to know that this course is about 8.5 months and essentially waves off about 6 months, of 3 to 4 to even 6 months, depending if the university runs on trimesters or semesters. Of course, so you end up saving about 6 months of your academic length or timeline, but you also save 6 months of living costs. And of course, you're at an extra advantage when it comes to your coursework in the US. Deepa, my question to you is, the next 3 years of your life, what kind of industries do you see AI booming in? And what is your personal aspiration? Once you've got the right skill set with an MS, the first part that learners can, or the attendees here can benefit from is, are you doing this course to get more employed into this field, or are you doing this course to get a good, strong hold of AI, and then you will then decide, where do I go?
I think I I was very much interested into AI, but I was not able to find the right road, I would say, as I also mentioned. Like, I wanted to go into that. Like, even working in Verizon, I knew there were departments for AI, but I could not enter them. So this just provided me a clear cut path that, you have to take this particular road and it will go there. And I think AI is going to boom pretty much because, see, right now, development, and in the last few years, I think data analytics has come like very, has become a very big thing. Few years back, I think like 5 years back, people were not that much involved. But right now, if you see, in terms of money making or respect or usability in all the industries, data analytics has like really become a very big deal. And I think AI is also going through the same thing. I think AI, for right now, more of the MNCs, like the big companies, are going to invest in that. So that is my goal right now. But I think as the year pass by, I think it will also come in the field of the startups and everything. That might take like a little bit of time, few years. But I think right now my goal is to maybe work in a MNC where they are implementing things related to AI. And since all these things are coming up with Meta and everything, I think it is going to somehow make us very much relevant.
Well, absolutely, yes. I think with metaverse coming in, blockchain coming in,
Yes.
and blockchain giving a rise to new platforms like metaverse and so many more, that it promises to give users the access to have more transactions online, and cloud computing on the rise. I think almost every company is going to need both the roles, the one that Sai is doing and the one that you're doing. But essentially, I think I just wanted learners to understand that how do they connect their aspirations and reverse engineer to the right course. One of the things that Sai solved for us is, look, if you're programming intensive and you have to code at every step, then maybe AI is a better fit for you if you like doing that. And DA is more that if you want to analyze, infer, draw insights, and use a standard set of tools which are applicable universally, Python, SQL, NoSQL, Power BI, Hadoop, XYZ, and you're pretty much there. And if the business outcomes or advisory, appeal to you more, then how do I strategically advise? How do I manage the folks who code by showing them where do we want to go? What does the consumer trend look like? XYZ, then DA is for you. But Deepa and Sai, we're going to jump into taking more questions in 5 minutes when it would be exactly 7 p.m. here. But in the 5 minutes, is there anything else that the two of you want to add on to that? How do attendees decide, is it AI for me or DA for me? What else do you think is one of the other contributors that can help them make the decision?
So yeah, Praneeth. So if you have a knowledge of extracting the valuable insights and presentable skills to the client and all those skills, well, I would suggest to choose data analytics field. But if you want to completely work on coding and choose like predict the future, like there are many things like right now it's right now it's there are many things going on like speech recognition and all those things, like where much intensive of coding will be done, then I would suggest to go for AI ML. So yeah.
Deepa, what are some 3 or 4 transformative changes that the global industry is expected to go through or is going through with the introduction of AI into multiple industries and fields? What excites you about this? I know you've always wanted to do this. I know you found the right path. But which industries do you think are the most, are the most proactive in wielding the impact of AI and changing it?
I think, right now, everything is becoming smart, as we say. We are using smartphones, and we are not having this in India yet, but in US, since I work with Verizon, I know this, that they have been working in few projects which were building smart cities. Smart cities are basically working the whole thing of doing everything on AI. It's like, you know everything can talk, everything can do the analysis. So we are using all those things. And again, everything is using analysis. So that is also very important. But it is basically like I am going to make anything, any particular device in my home talk to me, understand me, and work according to my needs. So I am going to turn everything around smart. I like everything around me has to be smart. They have to be like kind of robots, we can say. That is the like the future that we are going to get. So for that, AI is very important. They should understand the images, they should understand our voice, they should understand what we want, they should be able to converse with us in our language. So I think that thing was very attractive to me. And that is why, like, I basically have like a kind of dream that I want to build something which is going to understand people and do something for them someday. So that is like the thing that I'm going to do.
Sure, Deepa. Yeah, that makes sense. I think, like Sai was mentioning, human computer interaction, speech recognition, um, recognizing patterns, everything is becoming smart, of course, and that so much is going to change. I think that excites me. If I were to make a choice, I would choose AI also. I think uh, you're at the helm of building codes that can actually revolutionize how human life can be enhanced, how, to redefine what it means to be human. And and then I also agree with what Sai has, that hey, you know what, I want to be at the side that I want to give a more real-time insight into how our consumers behaving, what are some of the pain points, what are some of the things that we need or need to invest resources in, and only then can you code. So both of those, these roles are indispensable to a good global value chain. I think I jumped right to questions now. uh, Kunal is asking which to choose for job perspective. I think, Kunal, my answer, of course, I'm going to go back to Sai and Deepa, but both of these roles at a university, which I've at at universities that I've worked with, uh, is going to have you earn salaries upward of 100,000 USD, right? The jobs are going to be, you can be an analyst or DS, you can be a data scientist or data analyst, you can be AI engineer, you can be a software engineer, you can be a developer. So many of these jobs are available. And I think from the job perspective, these two roles are two of the most sought after, hot selling uh, courses in terms of job. But still, I just, I'd like to go to Sai and Deepa to advise that what have they seen their seniors working as? What is it that Clark University Yeshiva have been promising as a career progression from these courses?
Sai, do you want to go first? Or?
Yeah. So yeah, what was the question? Like, what careers would be better
Correct, correct,
suitable for them?
correct.
So right now, see, we have a different paths. Clark University has the assistance of career phase and all that, but when we apply to those career phase, what happens is like we can apply for since the course curriculum also at the university also involves machine learning and the Tableau and also the data engineering. All this includes in the data analytics field. So we do have a different paths. Like we can apply for data engineering or data engineer position, or we can apply for the data analyst position. We can apply for the business analyst. At the same moment, we can apply for the machine learning engineer. But if you want to be a beyond a machine learning engineer, like if you want to be NLP, if you want to be in, around the like I said, speech recognition. You want to build products that are going to be like in the industry, like in you usable to the people. Then you have to go for AI ML. What happens is there will be roles like product, like AI developer, and those roles. Praneeth.
Sure, I get that. What is your take on this, Deepa?
I think there is a abundancy of both the fields. Like basically, if you are going to work in AI, there are lots and lots of job available since we are going in that direction. And if you are going for uh, in the field of analysis as well. So I actually know a lot of people who are doing this job right now, that they are data analysts, and they are doing pretty good. And the salary difference is not that huge. It depends on which company you have selected and everything, but I think it is basically upon your interest, because both of these fields have a lot of job openings. And as I already mentioned, they are having, I think, fairs in their college where the companies are coming and picking up students. And same has been talked to me from my university. So I did talk to some of my professors already, and they have told me that, these companies do visit us, and they are offering these many packages, and we are getting all these designations like, okay, software developer, ML developer, AI developer, or data analyst, or data scientist. All these things are available. So I think this is nothing to be worried about. We have a lot of choices over there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Deepa and Sai. One of the other important questions that we have right now is, how do we move from a commerce field to a data and analytics or a data science or an AI field? One thing, look, I want to make you guys understand something. Here's how the upGrad course structure works. You come from a graduate background. I mean, you've done a UG, you are a graduate now, you've done your bachelor's degree. And so you move to a bridge course with IIIT Bangalore, which is called an advanced certificate program in data science. And then eventually Clark University or Yeshiva, we've got other 15 partner universities that waive off certain courses for you, 2, 3, 4, depends on how many you get out of the 10 courses or the 12 courses you have. Now, for someone like Sai and Deepa, who initially come from an engineering background, moving into a typical AI degree is very easy. You come from an engineering background, you've got a computer science or development experience, and then you move. But for someone who's from a commerce background, I will not recommend that you go to Clark and Yeshiva. Rather, I would say you pick up a MS computer science degree and pick up artificial intelligence as a specialized study, because you need to understand the broader range of computer science first and then go deep into AI. However, like Sai was mentioning, data analytics is very similar to business and analytics as well. The tools are more or less very similar. You still use Python, you still use R, you still do machine learning, all of that. That's a better course for you. And we've got multiple universities that can accept you into an MSBA program, including Clark. Clark with us will now have an MS Marketing Analytics program also. So you do the IIIT Bangalore ACP. For that, you just need 50% marks. You don't need to come from a typical background. You can be from any background. And you can eventually enter into a business analytics degree or a marketing analytics or XYZ. That said, we do have DA courses across the US where we can accept you as a commerce student, but you need to prove to us that you've got a relevant experience, or you've got a solid reason that, hey, I'm moving from commerce to machine learning and Python and whatnot. Can I fit in? And part of proving that is just that you've got to do good and score good in the IIIT Bangalore course. So that is how you switch. Sai, Deepa, I hope I made sense. So would you like to add or advise someone who's moving from commerce to a typical technology intensive course?
I think I would like to add one point. I do have some friends right now who are from commerce background, who are again doing the same course. So all these people that I know, they are not going for AI particular, but they are doing for data analytics. So that is why, and because upGrad is not just, they are not just giving you lectures, they actually have assignments and projects. So you actually have to do the work after understanding. So I think at this point of time, those people, even though they are from a different background, they have a pretty much good grasp over what we are learning, and they are able to understand. So they have adjusted very well. So if you are sure that yes, you want to choose DA and you are sure about it, and you are interested in this, you can definitely make the switch. It's not a tough job. It is a very smooth process. But the first thing is that you have to be interested and really, really invested.
Got that. What are the other, Sai, would you like to add?
So yeah, I have a friend who came from chemical engineering over here in the data analytics field as well. I would suggest have a skill set on more understanding on SQL and Python, and the domain as well. If you are coming from a commerce background as well, the domain that would help in the data analytics field as well, Praneeth. Right? It's not like mandatory to learn leave that course. It would be an add-on course for us in the future, Praneeth.
Perfect. One of the other questions I've got a few of them asking is, Deepa, why did you choose Yeshiva, and Sai, why did you choose Clark? Just to make things more clear. So technically, MSAI with upGrad is only available in Yeshiva University in New York City. So Deepa clearly had no choice, but Sai had a lot of them because MSD is almost in every partner university that we have. So we'll go to Sai first. And I think the question for Deepa should be rephrased to, what made you more clearer and more focused that Yeshiva was the right pick for you? Because I remember you did not go back and forth with us on which university was the right one. You made an easy choice with Yeshiva. So we'll go to Sai first and let him answer that. Out of the 15 universities, why did he choose Clark? Also, someone asked me about scholarship. Sai and almost eventually all our students get 32% scholarship from Clark, the highest scholarship that the School of Professional Studies at Clark actually gives. So essentially from a 32,000 USD degree, you save 6,000 USD because you get close to 6 credits waived. And then another 32% scholarship, bringing the fee down $1,600 instead of 32,000 USD. Deepa's now wondering, why did I not go to Clark? But the point is that Clark has become that affordable with upGrad. So scholarships are 100% given when you choose upGrad. But Sai, going back to you again, why did you choose Clark?
I think you have answered most of the question, Praneeth. The one of the choice was course curriculum, because course curriculum has a the subject related to my domain knowledge as well. Have worked as a have worked in healthcare fields, and here in out of all the courses, like all the universities, the data analytics offered by Clark University has a subject of health informatics, which is more related to the pharmaceutical field, healthcare field. That's why I have chosen Clark. But apart from that, the other one, the other other reason is the scholarship, higher scholarship when it comes to the Clark, Praneeth.
Sure. Deepa, would you like to go next? And why you pick Yeshiva?
Okay. First of all, it's in the title. MS in AI. I needed AI, so I immediately went to Yeshiva. Second is it's in New York. Okay, so I wanted to go to New York, which was just a plus point. Even if it was not in New York, I would have picked it, because I just looked into the companies that come there, the alumni, where they are employed and everything, and I found out that Microsoft, Amazon, and all these big companies are coming there, and people are getting jobs there, which is kind of my dream. I want to get into one of these companies, so I picked Yeshiva, but New York definitely helps.
New York is the most happening place in the world, so definitely anyone would choose New York, definitely.
Absolutely. Scholarship at Yeshiva. So scholarship at Yeshiva is essentially a 36,000 USD degree that with upGrad one, you save about 9,000 USD. So essentially you get, no, sorry, for AI, Deepa, you've got 2 courses waived off, or 3? Three courses waived off. So you get $9,000 waived off straight. That's approximately 27. And then Yeshiva gives another 4,000 USD of scholarship to upGrad students. So that brings Deepa's fee to 23 instead of 30.
I actually got 7K off in my I-20.
My goodness. And Would you be able to tell me that was based on your bachelor's degree?
I think so. Yes.
And what's the end fee that you ended up paying for Yeshiva, Deepa?
I think it is around 20 something,
Not
20,
that.
less than 20, little bit.
Wow. So essentially, you've gone down from 37,000 USD down to, let's say, about 19. That's almost 17,000 USD of discount, almost 15 lakh rupees. And plus she's saving about 6 months of living costs in New York City.
And I'm doing my job here, so
Yeah,
which is
absolutely.
a
Yes.
plus
So
point.
one of the things that upgrad students can do is, even when they're doing the triple IT Bangalore portion in India, they can continue working. So that makes a lot of sense, and they can save money. We've got a good question here. As a mechanical engineer, how do I start to get into data analytics? Sai, do you have a friend who's a mechanical engineer by background and then now picked up DA? And what would you like
Yes.
to advise the student?
Uh, so I have a friend, who's from mechanical engineering background, but he learned all the topics from the scratch, Praneeth. Like he spent around most of his time while he's working, but he spent around most of his time on the upgrad course. Like he built a foundation from through that course, and he is right now at the Clark University, and he is also like um, building the foundation of data engineering right now. So I would say don't worry about your mechanical program background or any background. It might be of any background. I came from electronics and communication. I don't have any I didn't have any coding experience, but when I cracked the job, I like it was mostly related to the questions were mostly related to SQL part. So don't worry about your background, as long as you are building your skill from the scratch. Don't worry about your background, Praneeth.
Thank you, Sai. How to get into triple ID Bangalore ACP data science? You just need 50% in your bachelor's, and like Sai mentioned, irrespective of which background you come from, you can pretty much ease yourself and settle into the course. One of the things that others were asking me is, uh, how does this course compare to a full 2-year course in US from universities such as Cal State? Does it make a difference and how much? So basically advantages and disadvantages. Uh, I think my answer to that would be very simple. One, essentially, it's a game of fulfilling credits, and you have to spend at least 2 terms in the US to get your post-study work visa. So Deepa and Sai completed 6 to 9 credits while sitting at home working.
Yeah.
And essentially, they did a rigorous 650-hour course from Triple IT Bangalore and then moved to Clark. Ultimately, they finished 2 terms at Clark or Yeshiva. They get the same OPT as a regular student, but they saved almost 15, 16 lakh rupees. That's the smartest thing you can do. But now, going back to the point, the student wants to know, Deepa and Sai. I think Sai is Sai at this point is more equipped to answer this. That is there any difference that you feel between yourself and someone who's been there for the previous 6 months, or one who will finish the course in parallel to you and has not done any articulation coursework?
Sorry. So Praneeth, what was the question?
So Sai, is there any difference essentially between you and someone who's not come from triple IT and is studying with you normally?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that they didn't get as much of the scholarship as us, and they will be they will be spending more time in at the university, and we can when we if we get an internship for the summer intake, even the duration of 1 year reduces to 9 months. So typically they are they have to spend around 2 years of the timeline in the university, and at the same moment they have to spend they got a scholarship of 20 or 15, around 15 to 20, around that. So yeah, that's the difference, Praneeth.
So I hope that makes sense. So what essentially Sai is mentioning is the number of courses you're left with, you can easily do it in 2 trimesters and you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, then you have to compulsively stretch it to 2 years because you have to take 4 months of break. You just can't do it, and unless the university allows you to do that. Uh, So, 9 months versus 2 years, no difference in employability, but a lot of difference in the cost that you're paying in terms of.
And I would like to add a point for the people who came like through upgrad prerequisites, like what happens is in general, for a person who came from a commerce background or mechanical background, they will be needing to complete extra electives as part of their curriculum. But for people who came through upgrad, there's no need of electives in choosing an extra, because since we had the foundational course in the India itself, ACP course.
Thanks, Sai. Yeah, so just essentially, just to give more context to what Sai is saying, is that Clark University needs 2 electives to be done, which are waived off for upgrad students anyway. So they essentially don't have to do 6 course credits additionally. um, Gaurav, I've seen your questions. I'm just going to take it towards the end. Um, are there any other US universities that we could get into by doing triple ITB course? Yes, for data science, you can get into UMass Dartmouth, you can get into Boston, you can get into Clark University, you can get into Yeshiva, you can get into Clarkson University, you can get into Troy, West Florida, Touro University, Manhattan. You can get into City University, Seattle, Central Washington University. There are multiple, there are almost 15 universities that we've got. You can get into Golden Gate University in Silicon Valley. So multiple things that you can do. What is the upgrade course fee for DAIML course? So essentially the ACP data science that both Deepa and Sai have done are is 3 lakh rupees for the course. And essentially when you go there, you spend the normal university fee that in Clark's case is about 16,000 United States dollars. What is the required GPA for a student doing BTech in DSA? I think every university like Clark and Yeshiva will need at least 60% and above, but our normal universities will accept you at 55% and above. Deepa, one student wanted to know from you, how much did you score in bachelor's and how much did you score in triple ITB to get 7,000 USD of favor?
I have 8.4 CGPA in my bachelor's, and I have 3.7 right now in triple ITB.
Triple IT Bangalore, right? One of the very important questions that someone asked here, and I can rephrase it for you, Deepa and Sai, it's actually one of the very stronger ones to ask you. He said, if I feel that triple ITB is just so rigorous and I'm not able to cope up, do I just take an easy exit after triple ITB? So I just want to know from the two of you that when we look at triple IT Bangalore curriculum and what you had to go through as a working professional, how have you eased into the life at Clark Sai? Is it more difficult? Is it more rigorous? Or is it going to demand more from the student? Or would the student essentially have more time for self-study? How does Clark or US universities work like? As in, how does your day look like? And do you feel stressed all the time about finishing timelines and all of that?
So yeah, Praneeth. So when it comes to the ACP course we have done in India, we had a limited bandwidth to complete. We will be working. So Deepa will be as well working as a employee. So, but yeah, we have to take out bit of time, daily. I used to take out 1 hour of my time to prepare for the ACP course, and I have scored a good CGPA. I hope 3.7 CGPA is the score I scored, and most of the time what happens is if I didn't have a bandwidth for enough bandwidth for the case studies or assignments in the upgrad course, ACP course, I used to take an extension. There were 4 extensions provided, so I used to take those extensions for the extra effort. So for we used to manage we can manage the ACP course easily, but once we come here, the we will what happens is we have the same subjects of learning over here, machine learning and the data engineering. All we already learned in the ACP course in India. So once we came here, it became an easy subject for us, easy scoreable subjects for us when we came here. So the day to day looks like here. In general, we right now what happens is like we will be given an assignments for each of the subject, and we need to submit those assignments and the projects. But apart from that, what right now I'm doing is like all I'm doing is preparing for the interviews, Praneeth. Like right now I'm from the day one itself I have started applying for the positions, like summer intake positions for the jobs. So for the next coming summer intake internships. So yeah, all I'm doing is preparing for the interview and completing my assignments on day-to-day basis, Praneeth.
Got that. So essentially, I think the person who asked this has got the answer that at the end of the day, there's more flexibility. There's more room for you to prepare yourself, more room for you to take your time and submit your assignments and absorb the content. So I think it's going to be easier on you. And the point is, the decision of studying abroad is one that takes a lot of audacity, strength, and grit. And once you've made that, I think approaching it with the fact that, hey, if I don't feel that I can make it, I will just drop it. That's not enough conviction. I think at this point, I'd love to jump towards Deepa and ask her, why did she choose to study abroad at this point of her life? And why she could have done the same course here in India as well, but why did Sai and Deepa actually, make that mindset around studying abroad?
I think I just wanted to widen my horizons. I think that is the basic idea that was there in my head. First of all, after finishing my BTech, I wanted to get some hands-on experience. So I did like I wanted to get like 3 years and then maybe do my master's. But after the COVID hit and everything, it just got expanded. So it became 4 years for me. And after that, I wanted to do masters after experience, and then I basically chose US just because I want to go outside, see how people are working. Here also, when I'm working with people who are from Italy, from Singapore, from US. I have clients, but I also wanted to see them in their environment. So I wanted to visit that place and do my studies there, learn it. Maybe I will come back to India again after getting all the experience, but it is all about experience. I think I just wanted to experience the whole thing.
That is Deepa. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think the US is a robust tech environment, and it's one of the greatest economies in the world. It is the best economy. I think 3 years of a STEM course, 3 years of an OPT after a STEM course can give you a substantive amount of experience in the US job market. And I think that alone is that robust that can get you a job anywhere in the world, just because you worked in the US. And yeah, I think that makes sense. I'd love to know from Sai. Just before that, I think I've got a question here. That said, I kind of lost the question. I think the person wanted to know more about scholarships. I think so. He was essentially asking, how do you get scholarships? So one of the things is that your scholarships is basically based on the marks that you have in your bachelor's level. But another advantage that you get with upGrad is if you can score good in Triple IT Bangalore, they are willing to work it out for you. They give you scholarship even if you get a good, decent amount of marks in the Triple IT Bangalore. So even if you've scored low in your bachelor's, you still have got ample room to make a good case for yourself and get a scholarship. Sai, how about you? As in, why did you make the decision of studying abroad?
So it's an add-on point to Deepa as well, because see, while I was working in ZS, what happens is I was working with onshore team, and they had like the best knowledge. So I wanted to have like those kind of exposure, international kind of exposure. Like there will be many people over here, and I want to get that. So like after the OPT, I might return back to India, but the kind of exposure we get over here at the best tech place, the tech, like the Silicon Valley or all these tech places, like it's kind of thing we can't get anywhere, Praneeth. So that was the only reason I chose my master's in US. I think that specifies.
I'm sorry.
Praneeth, yes.
Thanks, Sam. Deepa, we've got a question for you. How would it be if a learner is from non-tech background? How much do we need to focus on studies? How precisely if you want to get into the AI field? I think, let me rephrase this. I don't think it makes sense. The point is that he's trying to ask what courses or what programs or what tools do I essentially need to learn immediately to get into the AI field? When Surya, part one is the triple ITB course is just enough for you to build a solid background. Deepa, is there anything else that you feel that if I didn't know even before triple ITB, I would have been lost?
I think speaking from the experience of some of my friends who are not from technical background, they did say, at the very beginning, they feel a little bit of loss. But at that point of time, upgrad actually gives you like extra classes at the very beginning. If you notice, they kind of have this boot camp thing also ongoing for people who were like, maybe I am not good at coding, I don't understand it. They took that, and everybody who came from boot camp, I think they had this very big energy boost. They were like, okay, yeah, now I can do it. So now nobody's lost. Everybody is like in their tracks and they are pretty much comfortable with it.
Thanks, Deepa. I think you've answered. Finally, I think Sai, there's one question that's from you. It says, is it good to choose the United States during recession and massive layoffs? Well, I will
Yeah.
Sai, please go ahead.
See, there are many countries which are having the best tech exposure, but what happens is when what I observed in my company while I was working is most of the projects I get are from American projects, and if we are getting the American projects, why not work on those projects from here in US itself? Like why don't we work here itself? Like we'll be having more knowledge on the projects. Praneeth.
I think basically it is like if recession is coming wherever you are, in whatever country in this entire world, it is still coming for you, right? Like we are all working for American companies. So if they are going down, even if you're sitting in US or India, it doesn't matter.
Well, and also I think one of the things that I've learned is your longevity, your length of tenure in any company is your skill set. As long as you take care of who you are and what value you're creating, and as long as that value is something that the business model is dependent on, or you can make it dependent on because of the sheer amount of value you create, there's, a layoff is hardly going to impact you unless you had a very high role and you're getting a lot paid and they can't afford you anymore. Or if you're at a very grassroots level where they won't care if some of you are not there. So it essentially depends on you and what you've worked. Sneha is asking, does upgrad help us get into Triple ID Bangalore? Yes, 100%. It's an online course and we encourage you to find a college placement, keep working alongside, but also do 8.5 months. Of course, like Sai mentioned, he gave 1 hour a day and he's got 3.7 GPA. But of course, he's also a very brilliant student who has that background, so it's easy. But what I'm essentially saying is you don't have to devote yourself to one course for 8.5 months. You can continue working. If both of them managed it, you can too, and then eventually just leave the job before you go. The visa is going to be assisted for with us, from us, and almost everything is going to be us. IIT does provide AL, ML. What's AL? So I think you meant AI, machine learning, blockchain courses together. So blockchain is a different field, but AI, ML is a part of the data science course already. So AI is just an applied thing, but machine learning, data toolkit, understanding data and analytics. Also, I think like Deepa mentioned, DA is essential for AI. You need to know those tools. You can't do without those tools. Deepa, can you briefly highlight that what are some of the additional skills you learn when you learn in MS AI, then in MSDA? What are some of the additional things that you do on top of it?
So I think there are some basic steps at the very beginning, like Python and stats, all these which are similar for everybody. After that, they have like 3, 4 branches. Okay, so you go one separate branches. I think those other people are learning Hadoop and AWS on all these things, whereas I don't have these tools. I have, data boosting and tree models. These are going to help me with the, deep learning and NLP. So I have been diverted to that particular direction. They are learning more of the tools now, and I am learning more of the, you know, the algorithm kind of things. So I think that is the diversion that they have created here.
Got that, Deepa. Data structure, algo requirements in AI and DS. That's what's
Definitely.
got that, which is what we were repeating. But I think, can you guys name a few tools to learn before joining Triple IT? What I think what Deepa was mentioning is that as long as you learn Java or Java, or HTML or C++, you just need to know the algorithm design, the construction of it, and a programming language, and you're pretty much going to ease into the course. Sai, would you like to add anything? A few
So
tools they could learn before Triple IT back.
before Triple IT Bangalore, I think most of the things are like learned in ACP course. But apart from that, if you want, you can go ahead with the Excel is mostly enough. Praneeth, like Excel has most of the data analytics part that can involve. If you want to go ahead with the coding part, I would suggest go for like from the scratch. You will be teaching ACP. Will be teaching ACP has most of the thing, but
Absolutely.
I don't think anything will be prerequisites. There are no prerequisites for that actually.
Thank you so much. I think that was a great space. I'm sure we gave a very clear picture to all the attendees here. Thank you so much, Deepa and Sai. I think I just like to quickly walk the learners through. So this is essentially a combined program where you do a triple IT Bangalore advanced certificate program in data science, especially if you're switching streams or if you want to save 15, 20 lakhs of rupees. And that makes a lot of sense. And then essentially you get, pass on to, tech courses in universities across Seattle, across California, across New York City, across Massachusetts, across Washington, across Alabama, across New York State, multiple things. So you can choose almost anything out of them. And you save ultimately about close to 18-20,000 USD. That's what upGrad Abroad does. That is what Sai and Deepa have done. Deepa, just wanted to check if you got your US visa already.
No, I have my interview scheduled next month.
So Deepa's applying for a US visa. Sai is already in the US. With Clark University, we've now got over 200 students that will join you in Sai, and another 37 Deepa that will join you in Yeshiva in spring intake. So we're essentially amping up our US numbers, and eventually in any university that these students go to, they will have a university buddy who will help them find accommodation, who will help them find uh, the right student services. Sai is one of our ambassadors for Clark University.
Yeah.
Very helpful, helps every student going to Clark with housing, with campus infrastructure, navigation, with part-time work inside the campus. So he's been very helpful for us. Wishing all of you all the best. Visit us on upgradabroad.com. My colleague Arushi has put down a few links. Here is my email address in case you want to write to me, and I can pass the questions on to Deepa and Sai. Wish you guys all the best. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great evening. Can I get the LinkedIn profile? Well, 100% yes. You can, of course, Google them up. But so tomorrow morning, upGrad counselors will give you a call, and you can ask them to connect you to Sai. I don't recommend that you directly touch base with Sai because he's a student. He most of his time goes and studies. So we would arrange a space for you individually with Sai and get you a Zoom call with him. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Have a nice one. Bye bye.